It's October the 11th, and I'm out in the garden. I'm going to pick up some windblown apples and maybe harvest some other ones. It's getting towards the end of apple season. We still have quite a few on our tree. This is a McIntosh apple tree. This came with the house when we moved in. It was one of the few things in the garden. So we built the garden around it. And it's very productive most years. Last year was not a good year, but we had pruned the year before, and now we're having an excellent year for apples. The pruning obviously did its job, and we have lots and lots of apples still on the tree. The ones that have been blown down, I'm going to be picking them up and making some applesauce today. I'm going to make an apple crumble for Thanksgiving dinner. And I have 2 buckets of apples up on the deck to use, so there's quite a few apples. So let's get harvesting. It's amazing how some areas really accumulate the apples. Look at how gorgeous this lady's mantle looks with rain on it. They have such beautiful leaves. Always create a beautiful beaded effect when they get water on them. And I'm still spotting them hidden in little places like over by Buddha. I have to go grab that one. Beautiful Japanese anemone blooming in the garden. I love this time of the year. The color's just starting to change on some of the trees, like this little ginkgo biloba here. And the beautiful Japanese maples there are starting to change color. Such a gorgeous time of the year. Anyways, I digress. Okay, back to looking for apples. And even hidden among the oxalis, there are apples. So I got a basket full of apples. I don't think the basket will take much more weight than that. I'm going to take them upstairs and I will wash them bit by bit as I go through making applesauce and maybe crumble. Yes, I think I'll make crumble. That's what I made last week, and it was really delicious. So I'm starting off by rinsing off some of these windblown apples that I've collected. This is a great way to use up apples that are not superlative. Things that have dings and pecks and bruises and stuff like this, it's great for applesauce. So not all of these apples are going to work great in these apple cores and peelers because they're going to have weird shapes and maybe the core's not exactly straight, or maybe they have some bites or something and they'll just fall apart as you peel them. But for a big percentage of the apples, it works really well. It cores it at the same time as peeling it. This isn't an endorsement. This is just one that we got. We did try getting one off of Amazon once that didn't work out, and so we ended up getting this one instead, and it has been absolutely fantastic. We got this one from Lee Valley Tools, not an endorsement, this is just what we have. Anyways, so this makes the job go way faster, but even after using these, I tend to have to still cut off little bits and pieces after I have peeled and cored it. So you basically put it onto the spikes and then you just twirl the handle there and it comes off and it's both cut and cored. The core just comes out of the middle there. And then you just have it completely peeled and in pieces, and you can just dump it in the pot. You don't want to have the temperature up too high when you're cooking it because you don't want to scald it. And it's good to add a bit of lemon juice if you don't want the applesauce to look too brown as you're doing it. So that's what we always do, is just add a little bit of lemon juice into it. And then you just cook it down until it's soft. You're going to end up with lots of peels if you make a big batch. So I usually use a bucket or a big bowl to just collect them, and then I can throw them all in the compost later. So I've got the first apple in here. I've got it on just below medium right now. Eventually, when it starts bubbling, I'll put it on a lower temperature usually. Making applesauce isn't a really fast dish, so you can just let it simmer for a long time. I'm going to get some lemon juice out and put a splash of that in. So put some lemon juice in there, and I'm going to add some more apples. Keep peeling. So here's an example of one that wouldn't go through the apple peeling machine, and it's just kind of fallen off. It only had a tiny bit of peel taken off. So I will just chop that by hand and get the core out and get some of the peel out and just throw it in. So that's sizzling quite a bit. I'm going to turn it down a bit. I'm going to have it just above simmer while I get some of these other ones peeled. If there's bits of peel or core in there, it doesn't really matter. I mean, you can always scoop them out when they're floating on top later when you have your pot going. And, you know, it doesn't really matter if it makes it through. It's all cooked. So this is almost an entire bucket of apples. You can see it takes a lot of apples to make applesauce because you're getting rid of the skin and the core and everything in bad parts. I have a whole bunch of peelings in there, so you can see that you end up shedding a lot. So I'm going to go get a second bucket of apples off the deck and go and include that in. Some people add cinnamon to their applesauce. They add a bit of cinnamon bark in or some of the ground cinnamon. I've done that in the past and it's fine, but I also like it plain. So I usually just make it plain, a bit of lemon juice and apples, and that's it. And you need to make sure you keep stirring so that all the parts get cooked and become nice and smooth. And it takes a while, as I said, so I have it on the setting just above simmer. And it's doing fine at cooking it down. So this is the result of about 2.5 buckets of apples here. I'm going to cook this down a little more. It's just going to simmer there for a while till it's all nice and smooth. You want to stir occasionally to make sure that you're getting an even cook and make sure it's not burning on the bottom. I'll show you how many peelings we have from this. It's a lot. Too bad I don't have any pigs to give this to in a slop bucket. In any event, I have some nice applesauce to eat. Sometimes it's nice to put it with some vanilla ice cream or just eat it alone. Delicious. So this has been on the stove for a few hours now, and it's all cooked down. So it's about half a pot full. One of these big pots that's many liters, like 10 liters or so. So I got about 5 liters of applesauce out of the 2.5 buckets or so of apples that we processed today. So I'm going to try some of this out. I'll let it cool a bit though. It's volcanic right now. I'm going to turn this off and let it cool because it's done now. But I mean, you can leave it on the stove for a while to keep warm if you want warm applesauce. And the rest of the apples I have turned into apple crumble, which I'm making for Thanksgiving. So I'm going to put those in the oven now and cook them. And if you want to see how I did apple crumble last time, I have a short on that with the recipe attached from about a week ago. So you can look that up if you're interested. Anyways, versatile ways to use up windblown apples. Bon appetit. The apple crumble is out of the oven. Looking forward to this. Happy Thanksgiving, friends.